Hello and welcome to the on-air channel. This is your social space curator, Ellie Jńe, and today we are playing around with metallic gilding polish. So I just uploaded a video that basically shows you the haul that I purchased from scrapbook.com, and it was a lot of stuff, but this was like the most exciting out of the package. I'm gonna also do like a magic matte, I don't know, video soon just to show you how that project is. But for right now, we are just going to play around with the gilding polish. I gave you in that last video around the polish too, like how to use it, what you need, all that type of good stuff. So check it out on how to like maintain care for your polish. But today we're going to actually play with some textures. We're going to play around with some, I don't know, embossing folders. I have some that I'm going to play with. And then what else we're going to do? Yeah, we're just going to be playing. I don't know. I don't know where this is going to take us, but you know, I have some things on the side. This is two of the cards that I was able to make in order to, you know, see the ins and outs of this, I guess, polish. And let me tell you, it dries pretty fast and it just gives you really great results. And I just love using the embossing folders with this metallic because it just really brings dimension and it just allows for that great mixed media look. Then I have this one that I just, you know, was playing around with as well. I feel like the lighting is a little off, but I love how it's like super shimmery. If it can just give us a good image, I just love that. And I added some more. Let's see. You know, I just played around. So one of the things that I wanted to see, this is just basic white paper that I was able to like play around with, and it just completely changes the paper around. I wanted to actually take some time out to try different colors or see what it looks like whenever you have pre-embossed paper. So this embossed paper here, I feel like this is so high. This embossed paper here is a sweater emboss folder. And I don't know, what color do we want? I want to start with the copper. So of course you just open it up and you see like the thickness of this is absolutely great. You take your brush off the top here and then you just kind of put it in the polish. Then this is like literally my first time doing this. I am lightly, super lightly brushing over this raised embossed paper, and I don't know where this has been all my life. But this is the metallic I was looking for before I started purchasing the gilding flakes. What I really love about this like end result is that number one, it dries fairly quick. In order for you to dry it too, I also saw in this other video, you can use like a heating tool, but I don't have mine out. So we're just gonna let it dry, but it really sits so perfectly on this sheet of paper. Let's try another one. So we have this pretty much, what I did here was take a regular sheet of paper. Then I did like, you know, my little layering of the two different like metallics here. There's probably three on here. I used brown, gunmetal, or what is that one called? It's a darkest one that they have, which is graphite. And then I use like the gold, what is it? The regular gold that they have, which is called tarnished gold. So I want to see what it does or how like vibrant the, I don't know, how vibrant the, what do you call this, enchanted gold is. I used this actually last night and it, out of all the colors, I'm very impressed with this one because it shows up and does its thing. So this is already pre-colored here, and I'm just gonna add some here. What I like too about this is that you can layer it. So you can let it dry, come back and add some more. But look at that. I don't think this is showing up. Oh, it is. It's showing up nice on this camera. But yeah, just, you know, work in a circle to get it really nicely coated. I'm liking that. That could definitely be on a card. Okay, well, that's a winner for me. But that's how I would usually use this metallic gilding for enchanted gold. I'm going to let this dry off to the side as well. And I'm going to actually try this some more on some black cardstock. I do want to, I don't know, what did I do with my embossing? What do you call this? Um, what was it? Die cutting machine. I'm going to use a embossing folder in a little bit. But what I'm going to do here is first, I'm going to actually color this up with the Enchanted Gold. And look how it shows up on the black. It definitely holds its color. I can see that it would need like two layers. You already see it has 2 layers there. And I'm not even pressing down really hard. One thing that you notice is that the paper actually like curls up, and it's because it's the water-based ink. But once it dries, which is it only takes, what, 5 minutes for it to have its first set of the thin layer, it's really easy to, use it. You don't have to wait a long time for this polish to set. If it's really thick and you want some texture, which is, I think I'm going to go in that direction with this one. I'm going to do the first layer first. It does take a full, like, I would say 2 hours for it to set. But I just wanted to bring this, I want the brush strokes to go from left to right first to have that full coverage. Oops. And have it like really even. And then I come back through here, just kind of go thicker with it and build up some dimension. And I'm going to let this set while I continue to play. Look at that. Okay. And to be honest, this tempts me to actually go back in a little bit later and try a different color, but let's let that dry for now. We'll come back to it, get a closer look. It's so pretty. Okay, let's try another one. In order for you to clean off, which is, I'm not going to do that just yet. In order for you to clean this off, it just takes some water. But let's get an embossing folder. And I think I would like to use this one. And this is Tim Holtz from Sizex. I'm going to open this up. And I think this impresses down. So I'm going to get the deep areas here. And I'm just going to paint over it. And I'm trying to make sure I kind of see where there's a flaw. I have to use the side of the embossing folder like this in order to like pick up the ink, flatten it like that. That way it doesn't go too far deep into the crevices because I'm already seeing where it falls. See, I added a little too much there. But nonetheless, my card is not that big. Not sure why I colored it all like that, but you just lay it in there. Try not to move it around as much because you do want some areas to still remain black. We're going to move this off to the side temporarily. And we're going to run this through this Big Shot machine. So I know I'm late to the party. I still want to say, like, I still wanted to make a video around it of me like playing with the different colors. So, forgive me for being late, but this is really worth me making a video around it. I do see me doing a lot of cards and albums with this ink. And one of the major things that I like is I use cardstock a lot, or chipboard, excuse me. I use chipboard a lot, and I always want to, color the edges of my chipboard and, not use 2 sheets of paper because then it tends to look like a mess or whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to take it off, and this is what it looks like. This picked up on quite a few things. It picked up on the streaks that I had on the embossing folder down here. And it just really added some splotchy areas of black, which made it very antique looking. Not to mention this enchanted gold is beautiful on black pieces of paper. So I'm going to actually kind of build up on this. In order to clean this, all you need is a spray bottle or hot water. You know, the world is yours. You can do whatever you like. But I just spray it, let it sit just a little bit because it's already starting to set. And then just start rubbing it away. But, you know, we can't invest time in that. I got to put this off to the side. I'll come back to that. All right, so let's move this to the side because I will get distracted by that easily. And we're going to continue to play with this, and I'm going to choose another color. Put this off to the side. And I think I really like, I'm trying to be inspired by my mom because she's like, use color. And I'm just like, I do. And I'm really a monochromatic kind of person. Like I like one color, but let's do rose gold. This is the rose gold gilding. I'm going to undo this and I'm going to take the bottom here. Oops, there we go. And just kind of soak it up. There we go. And all I'm going to do is lightly graze the top. And I probably should stay low. But I'm going to lightly graze the top with this pink. And make sure I'm on top of it because sometimes the curve makes you kind of dig a little deeper than what you want to go. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know, we try to be intentional as well as have beautiful mistakes. So look at that. Perfect. I kind of want to put one more color, and I think that's the copper. But so far, this is what we're working with. It's building up to be extremely pretty. All right. All right. And this is the copper. It is very beautiful. Just trying to take this down and if you're doing like a quick glaze, this polish is so thick and it's like, I don't know, it's so ready to be used. You could get a lot on your brush and that's so pretty. And to be honest, I'm gonna go the other way. Make sure this is super freaking light. I am so inspired. Okay. I forgot what I was talking about that fast, but I am just going to show you this, and then I'm going to also get the edges on this, and I try to flatten it. And I'm just doing a sweeping motion down versus like trying to, you know, control it. I'm just sweeping it down so it can kind of lay wherever it falls because of this embossing is, you know, hidden right. Look at that. I'm impressed. I've been saying this for like now 2 days. Look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful cover. It can go on top of a book or something. I don't know. But it's absolutely pretty. Let's try a different material. So remember, this was a black card before we used it. And it covers very well. And I love it. Anyway, let's switch gears. I'm going to wipe this down. All you have to do, let me move this back because we do not want to reactivate. Water will reactivate the polish and mess everything up. So if you do use this polish and it's like on a book or something, you know, laminate it or something. Or seal it with like a sealer from Lowe's or something, or Ace Hardware store, some hardware store, so it doesn't really move because this is a water-based polish and it reactivates and undoes all of your work. It will undo all of your work. Ooh, child. All that English. Okay. Anyway, we have a somewhat mid-clean surface. I want to change colors and try out this brown. And I wanted to do this chocolate bronze gilding polish. I don't know why it's not catching my vibe when I get close, but I'm going to try this on here. Let me unscrew it. And this is just a regular brown piece of paper. And I have a bunch of it. But I was like, how am I gonna use this brown piece of paper because it is so ugly? Because I meant to buy a craft, and that's how I got here. But I'm gonna try this chocolate on it, and then I cut it in four so I can try different. Sorry, that's a truck going past my house. I cut it in four so I can try different colors. All right, so we are, and see, I already pressed a little bit too hard, but I'm just lightly covering it. The polish kind of does most of the work. There we go. All right, so this is the first layer, and it, picked this up very nicely. Let me see if I can find another cardstock that has a different. So this is the brown that it was. It's covering beautifully. So you can build off of that. I'm gonna actually let this dry a bit, and I might add some of that enchanted gold because I fell in love. But let's try this with a more, colorful ink instead of that brown. And this is kind of like what it looked like. Let's switch gears. We're going to try this mint gilding on this brown and just see what that looks like. I really should have kept it flat. Low key, high key. Okay. This one's a little bit thicker, but ooh. And I'm trying to go super delicate on this one because I already made it in the cracks. And this embossing folder did not make a huge impression like I would have liked it to. Sorry, that's my neighbor's truck. But yeah, look at that on the brown. I'm darken some areas up in the air. Ooh, that's so pretty. Okay, look at that. So I don't know what I'm really showing here, other than the fact that it does have full coverage, and it really takes just one. It just takes one complete sweep, but you can go as dark as you want, and it'll cover the color behind it. So let me even go deeper and show you how it covers. Look at that. Pretty. So pretty. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to try, so I did the regular paper and I showed you what that was looking like. Tried brown, and then I showed you what that was looking like. Now it's like a wax paper that I know I have around here. Let me see. I had some wax paper, and then I had some gold paper that I wanted to try as well to see how that would upkeep and things like that. Let me see. Well, the wax paper seems to have disappeared on me, but let's go ahead and try this. What do you call it? Oh, shoot, that's upside down. Let's go ahead and try this vellum paper. This is the wax paper. No, it's not. Whatever, we're gonna let that go, okay? So this is, I wanna try more so of like half of a darker color and then half of a lighter color. This darker color is called Blossom Gilding. And Blossom Gilding to me comes off really, really, really delicate and light. But if you're like making flowers and stuff like that, it just has such a beautiful sheen that adds to whatever flowers you're building. And when I say flowers, I'm going to show you exactly where I used it at. So I made this little card just because. And with this card, I have a flower on top. So I added on the edges, like, a little bit of the copper, but the pink that you see is this blossom pink here. So it's really a nice color, but it doesn't show up super, super aggressive, which is, it's needed. So move this to the side. We're going to put this in the ink and kind of scrape it off and make sure that it's even, so we can have a really even effect to it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go to town on this vellum. So as far as it's sitting on the vellum, number one, it's vellum, so it's curling up because it's, again, a water base. But that sheen is there, and you can also see it on the other side. So this is a great way to like play around with your vellum pieces of paper. I just want to let you know that it does actually dry extremely hard. So you might need it to dry just a little bit and then come back and like have it between two weights to flatten the paper back out. So let me close this up, and we're going to try a darker color. And I think I said I was going to do this pure silver, but I'm actually going to try the gold. And the reason why is because, number one, I use gold the most, and I'm going to use the golden olive because it still looks kind of similar. And I want to see what it looks like on the other side of the paper in a darker color. Come on. See, some of the polish is looser than the others, and that is a-okay. But it will wet. You can tell what will wet up your paper a little bit more than the others, even though they're all water-based. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and test this out. First of all, look how beautifully that covers that. I just see this being just an epic ink for like whenever you want to print something on the front, and then you come back behind it and have this gold behind it, and there will be a texture. It doesn't look really that great on this camera, but you see so far though, like how it kind of takes on the vellum and just really gives you a nice finished look. And you can go as thick as you want. So I'm going to go a little bit thicker, even though it's curling on me. I'm going to go thicker on this vellum. It's so sensitive. Come on now. I'm going to go a little thicker on the vellum. Again, it's more water, so it's not going to make it stay, but it does have that beautiful effect to it. And let's put this off to the side to show you another technique that another like idea that I had, which was the sides of the chipboard that I was talking about. So this polish dries extremely quick. Just be aware though, if you're making anything, you're doing the edges of the paper, I would say that's thinner than chipboard, be aware that it might curl up. So chipboard might be your best way to color the edges of your book, or if you have one of those clips to hold the pages together, you have a bunch of thinner papers, just have the clip hold it down on both sides of the paper so it doesn't curl up and has time to dry and stiffen up. But this polish is not going to move, you know. And if you're going to be painting the edges, it's better to pat instead of smoothing down, because smoothing down is just, it's going to end up falling onto your paper. But if you pat like this and give it like a really good pat up and down, grab as much as you need, and then continue to pat, you have a better chance of keeping everything on the board. But it still has that nice gold finish, but I don't know if you can see it. Let me know. Add a comment when you're watching this playback. Yeah, so that's what the gold looks like here on the edge of the chipboard. And then you can cover the paper, or you could do it after you cover the paper, and then make that really nice, like, what was it, distressed look on the edges of your paper. This is the ink for that. Okay, so what's next? What's next? I did want to see what it looked like on this metallic sheet of paper, because I can't believe I cannot find that wax paper. I looked at it all day, and then all of a sudden it just disappears. Okay, so anyway, the last thing that we're going to do is see what it does on metallic paper, because there just might be an opportunity that you're interested in this. This is the graphite gilding polish. All you have to do, this one is stubborn. There we go. Okay, so this is a little bit of a looser polish. I'm gonna bring that in and cover. Okay. So this is just going on a different texture type of paper, and it's looking like it doesn't easily glide on this paper. And I think it's because, number one, it's a water base, but number two, usually the water base soaks into the paper. But what I do think it'll do is give you some great texture. So if you're trying to do something like a make leopard print, or do some type of like flower print where you just add this on your piece of paper, it'll dry beautifully and you'll have that effect without actually having to purchase paint. And it'll take, again, 15 hours. I said 15. It'll take an hour or two for it to dry. So, yeah, I did a couple demonstrations on, what this gilding ink does, or polish does. If you have some, I would definitely love to know how you used it, and definitely check out my Instagram because, I'll be using a lot of this in a lot of upcoming projects. Not to mention, follow me as well. And tag me whenever you use one of these polishes. But have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, this easily washes out. The smell, someone asked about the smell before. The smell it does smell like a polish. Like, it's not like a very low tone smell. It has a very, I don't know, like you know for sure that it's not like a light smell, but it doesn't like completely cover your room. But if you're really just not into smells anyway, I would say it's enough to kind of bother you if you're sensitive. But yeah, look at that. I'm just so inspired by this brick wall. Just give it some personality. Look at that. In order for you to get in those grooves, do not forget you have to put it on your folding folder, but all you need is hot water to push it off. So anyway, that is all I have for today. I'm going to continue to play around in the craft room lab. As you can see, 5 minutes later, nothing comes up on my hand at all. And I just literally finished doing that. This is pretty much dry because we started with it. But this is just a great way to add some depth and some real distressing to your projects. And definitely check them out. I got it at scrapbook.com, $8.24 a piece. And yeah, love to see it if you use it. So tag me, like I said before, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign off because this is all I got. All right, bye, guys.